Yo! Hello, people. Welcome to the very first live stream on my channel. Well, my new channel, that is. This used to be a channel I had for a long time. And I used to do a lot of vlogs and stuff with my friend Justin. And we were called Just in the Nick of Time, and it was really good. You should the videos, the old videos are still all on this channel. You can go check them out. They're really funny, especially the camping video we did. But I decided, hey, let's, why don't I do my own thing? Why don't I just chill and change my channel and revamp it? And so that's exactly what I did. I revamped my channel. I changed the name to Nifty Nick, and here we are. This is I primarily want to do just live streams, and I'm gonna be talking about all of this here with you right now, actually. And if you're watching, welcome to the very first live stream of the Nifty Nick channel, the new Nifty Nick channel, and I'm so happy that you're here. I'm excited that we're all here, we're all watching together. If you are watching, say hi in the chat so we could talk, we could communicate. I love to interact with my audience. So, okay, here's the thing. Here's what we're gonna talk about. Failures, future, and some films I've been watching. I feel like every live stream on Tuesdays I'm going to be talking about what I watched throughout the week. That's going to be a main subject. But, so let me explain something really quick. First off, let me explain something real quick. The Nifty Nick channel is pretty much just all live streams. There will be 2 live streams a week. Not 1, but 2. Not 3, 2. And it's going to be every Tuesday night and every Friday night. Try to be doing it at 8 p.m. I know tonight's is a little late. I do apologize for that. I was trying to figure out a whole lot because I haven't done a live stream in forever. And so I have a setup pretty down. I have my setup. I have my desk that I put together here a couple days ago. I got my items on my desk, like this sonic screwdriver from Doctor Who, and my mug. I'm not going to tell you what's in the mug, though. That's my secret. It's very good, though. I'm just kidding. So Tuesday nights are going to be more of it's going to be more of this. I'm going to sit down, talk to you, and you're going to talk to me. We're going to have a conversation, and we're going to do, it's going to be more down to earth, more chill. I'm going to bring up some topics. It's going to be not as much scripted and as produced as Friday nights live streams will be. Friday night live streams will be more interactive. It won't just be me. Tuesday nights will just be me. Friday nights will be me, as well as guests and maybe some musical guests. And we'll have games, and it'll be more of a produced stream. And I still haven't gotten the setup for that down yet. I have to figure that all out. This Friday, I will be on a work trip, and I'm not going to tell you right now what I do for my job. I'm not going to tell you that right now. You're going to find all of that out on this Friday's first episode of The Nifty Nick Show. The Nifty Nick Show. And I'll give you a little, background. Hold on one second. I just want to show you the logo. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll show this to you. All right. This is actually pretty cool. Hold on. So this is the logo for the Nifty Nick Show. This is on my YouTube banner. Check it out. This is it. It looks really cool, I think. Yeah, so the Nifty Nick Show is going to be live every Friday at 8 p.m. And our first stream will be this Friday. With actually with some people from my work, because I'm going to be on a work trip. So I'm going to be interviewing some people from my work, and I'll tell you all about what we're doing, all of that jazz, all of the stuff. So, okay. Well, I guess I kind of went out of order. I told you a little bit about the future, and well, I haven't gotten fully into it, but so I've been really excited to do this. I have been wanting to do a live stream like this, or revamp my channel for the last couple years, since the last video with Justin I did came out, which was like, I think almost 2 years now, which is crazy. And it is sad that Justin and I we can't really do anything else together, because I'm in Virginia now, he's still back in Georgia. But I really hope to be partnering with him in the future and doing some more videos with him. Hopefully. I know I have a very busy life and I can barely do these live streams. I'm going to do them though. Every Thursday and Friday. It's going to happen. I don't care what it is. I'm determined to make this consistent. And I'm actually really excited about it too. Like I said, I've been so excited to do this thing. I've been trying to plan something like this for the last couple of years. My situation hasn't been able to put me in the ability to do something like this. And now I have the ability to do something like this. And I am so excited to share it with you guys. So, yep, Tuesday Talk Time with Nifty. And see, my name is Nick, but you can call me Nifty. A lot of people call me Nifty. A lot of people call me Nifty Nick. You can call me whatever you want. But you probably already saw this. This is Tuesday Talk Time with Nifty. And that's what this show is going to be about. On Tuesdays. It's just going to be chill. I hope you like the logo I made. I made that today, actually. So, I have failed at this so many times. Not even over the last couple of years, just over my entire life. Since I was, I think in middle school or early high school, I wanted to have a YouTube channel. And so many times, I mean, I watch a lot of YouTubers. I guess I can mention a few. I watch Mark. I've been watching Mark. I think Markiplier was the very first YouTuber I actually discovered. And Good Mythical Morning as well. I've been watching them, and I still watch them. I think they're amazing. And I've taken inspiration from them, and I've taken inspiration from a lot of other live streamers I watch. Well, I mean, GMM doesn't live stream, but basically what I wanted to do, and this will be what the Nifty Nick show is on Fridays. It'll basically be something like GMM, but in a live stream form. And that's very hard to do, but I'm better at producing something like this than I am sitting down after I've captured everything and editing it all together. Now I can do that, but I really don't have time. I'm so busy with work and with life, I really don't have time to sit down and edit and all that. The time that I do have, I use to edit stuff for this show, for these live streams. And I'm so happy with that. I would rather do live streams because I would rather talk to you guys in the chat section real time than answer your comments later. That's also a big reason why I wanted to do live streams in the first place. But I have failed. I've tried to do gaming channels. I've tried to do I've tried to do so many things. I've tried to do podcasts. I've tried to do like vlogs. And actually quite recently, it was this past Friday, I tried to do a live stream. I was gonna have it be the first live stream I did on this channel, and it was gonna be at Busch Gardens, because I went to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and oh my gosh! First of all, I'll get to this later, but I'll say a little bit. Busch Gardens Williamsburg is really awesome. Again, I'll touch on that later. But I tried to do a live stream there, and I had everything. I had my gimbal, I had my phone, and what I didn't know, there's a couple things that happened. One, I didn't know, and this is on me. I feel kind of stupid admitting this, because I feel like I should have known this. I feel like a lot of people do know this, but I didn't know that you have to have like 1,000 subscribers to do live streams from your phone from YouTube. So, and I tried to bypass that. I downloaded some streaming apps, and it worked. Well, it didn't work. It worked as far as the app goes. But right when I was about to do my live stream, I had been connected to the internet at Busch Gardens the whole day. And right as I was about to do my live stream, the internet wasn't showing up anymore. I barely had any service, and it just wasn't working at all. And I don't know, I'm very new to this, and this is why, I don't really care to be admitting this to you, because like I said, I'm going to be talking about my failures, the future of this channel, and again, films that I've seen recently, like every stream. But I'm okay with admitting my failures to you guys. I don't mind that. Failures are something that we learn from. So I learned that you have to have 1,000 subscribers. I also learned that Busch Gardens might not be the best place to do a live stream at, even though I really want to do some kind of theme park live stream. Again, because I watch people who do theme park live streams, mostly from Disney, and I wish I could do it from Disney. I used to live in Florida, but now I live in Virginia. I actually was born and raised in Florida. I was born and raised in Florida. I went to college in Florida, but I moved to Virginia, mostly to transfer to another school, but also my job. I got a job here, and I live up here permanently. And as much as I would love to go and do live streams at Disney all the time, I can't, unless Disney makes a park in Virginia, which I doubt they will. So, in Busch Gardens, it was funny. Whenever I was about to do the live stream, I was gonna go show you guys one of their shows, and so I just let it run, even though it wasn't loading or wasn't really going at all. I just let it run, and I was basically like, well, let's see if it ever does, pop up. So, and I was really hoping for that, but it never did. But anyways, I was still live, and I walked into the show, live, and of course the lady was like, hey, you can't do that, blah, 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 and I was like, oh, okay. I figured that would happen, and it did. So, that was the other reason why I don't think it was a good idea. But I wanted to do it anyways. I thought it would be so cool to live stream from a park. But yeah, with the Nifty Nick show, I mean, everything is coming together so well. Like, so well. To the point where I can't believe, like, you ever do something and you're just like, or you start to do something that you've been dreaming about for so long, and all of the other times in the past you've tried to do this thing, it is not, every single thing you try hasn't worked out at all. And then the one time you finally are like pounding your fists on the table, and you're like, this has got to work. I want to do this. Like, you're so determined. Everything is working out so well with this show. It makes me completely forget all of the failures I had in the past trying to do something like this. Because trust me, when I say this, I have tried and tried and tried again to try to come up with something for YouTube, for me to do, for me to create, for people to watch. And every time I've tried, it just hasn't gone to plan. Everything's gone wrong. And I'm sure, other YouTube creators can tell you exactly the same thing. They probably tried an idea, failed, and then they set on something that finally worked for them. And when it worked for them, it really worked for them. I bet you that's some people's stories. Hopefully that will be my story at least, because everything is working out. I already have people that want to be on the show. I have a potential music guest. I have interviews set up. The only thing I have left to do is figure out the setup I'm gonna have for that show. Now I already have stuff planned for this Friday. This Friday, I'm gonna be on the road. I'm not gonna tell you a whole lot because I want to save that for Friday night. But it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be very interesting at least. And it's not gonna be like super highly produced yet, because I will be on the road. Not literally on the road, but I will be out of town. I won't be in my studio. But that's okay. I have the studio set up for tonight's stream, which is great. I did have a camera, but again, here's a failure for you. I don't have the right HDMI cord. It's like one of those cameras where you have to have a mini HDMI to a regular HDMI. And I thought I had that cord. I don't have that cord. So I wasn't actually able to use that camera. But that's why I'm using my laptop webcam right now, and I have a big TV screen right here where I can, because my laptop's far away, I can read the chat more closely and see what's going on and actually control it with my mouse here, which is good. But I hope to have the camera set up eventually, because the camera setup will be a lot easier for me to do what I want to do with the Nifty Nick show. I'm just glad, and that's the reason why I was late tonight. I was way past 8 p.m. was because I was having to figure out that whole camera thing that wasn't working, and I also was getting dressed and I had to do stuff, and I was just running late. But this is my first show, so you can forgive me, right? I hope so. I hope you like the bow tie. That's kind of my thing. That's why they call me Nifty Nick, there's more than one reason, but I dress like this, and I love dressing like this, and this hat is a big part of my character. I would say this hat is more a part of me than any bow tie, suspender, anything that I wear other than this. This is, I think, out of everything I wear, this is the most me, the most nifty part of Nifty Nick as far as what I wear. Now, I know you get to see my beautiful hairdo. Oh man. But I guess I'll tell you the story about this hat. Fun fact about this hat. This hat right here. I used to wear these hats a lot. Well, I mean, I wear this hat a lot. But I had a few different types of, this is a flat cap, right? So I had a few different types of flat caps. And I wore them around a lot, and I was in high school. My senior year comes, and I graduate high school, and I didn't have this hat yet. It was the summer after I graduated. I was wearing this different flat cap. I think it was a blue one. I had a blue one and another black one that wasn't denim like this. It was more like felt. And I went to New Orleans on a mission trip, and I think I was wearing the black felt one. I had both of them. I brought the blue tweed one and the black felt one, and I think I was wearing the black felt one this day. And I go to the French Market, and this was really cool. Like I was walking around The French Market is really cool. If you're ever to New Orleans, the French Market is probably my favorite part. Like just that whole area, the French Market, and you got the Cafe Du Monde with the beignets and all that, and the French, the quarter and all that. That's I mean, I think that's a lot of people's favorite place to go in New Orleans, but that was my favorite, and that's where I got this hat. There was a vendor. He was just setting up. He just got there, and he had these big bins, these big blue bins, and he had a bunch of them. He started laying them out, and he kind of whistles at me, and because I wasn't paying attention, and I turn around. And he's like, "Hey, come here," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he sees me. I'm wearing this other flat cap, and he's like, "Hey, 1 second." And then he starts looking through these bins, and I'm standing there like, what is he gonna give me? Like, what is happening right now? Like, what am I doing? And whenever he opens it, I see that they're flat caps. I'm like, oh, I get excited. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. And he's rummaging through. He closes that bin, gets another bin, rummages through, and closes that bin. I think on the third bin, he opens it, rummages through it, and then boom, he pulls a hat out. He hands it to me. He says, "Try that on." I put it on. I look at myself. It's this hat. I look at myself in the mirror he had, and I'm like, I like it. He's like, "Yeah?" I'm like, "I really like it, actually." And he's like, "I think it looks great on you." He said, $20. Handed him a $20 bill. And that was 2019. That was the summer of 2019. And I have worn this hat since that, well, not every day since that day, but I have worn this hat probably 95% of the days since I got it. Almost every day since I got it. And I mean, it's me. It's just me. You know what I mean? The hat is a big part of me. This hat particularly, not any other flat cap. Now, people have asked me, well, are you going to get another one in the future? I'm like, I might, but this, I think, really just suits me so well. All right. Nobody has said anything yet in the chat. You know what? That's okay. This is my very first live stream back on this channel. This is the very first thing posted back on this channel in probably over 2 years. I can't believe how much time has flown by. Time does that to you, doesn't it? It just flies by. Let's talk about some dang films. For the record, I want everybody to know I am a huge film geek, nerd, buff, whatever you want to call it. I love movies. Before I start doing what I do now, which you'll find out what I do Friday. For those of you that already know, don't spoil it. Don't spoil what I do for my job. A lot of people already know, so it's probably not even a secret. I mean, it's not a secret to the people that are here with me, but for my general audience, you'll find out Friday. Before I do what I do now, I really wanted to go into the film industry. That's how much I love films and filmmaking. And whenever I judge a film that I've seen, I usually judge it based off of the cinematography and how well it's been made and how well it's been directed and written and produced, all of that stuff. And the films I've seen recently have been really good, really good. I'll talk about the movies that have come out this summer that I've gone and seen, and I'll also talk about what I've been watching this week as far as being at home and watching movies. Um, let's first off, let's just get this out of the way. Before I talk about movies. Let's talk about the show that everybody's been talking about. Everybody, ever. Stranger Things. Now, I whenever the Stranger Things first came out, I was just like everybody else. I was a huge fan of the show. Huge fan of the show. And the first season came out, the second season came out, then we were like, we have to wait forever, and then the third season finally came out. And those have been really good. I remember back watching it. I'm like, I was a huge fan of it. I was watching it consistently and rewatching it all the time. I lost interest in it. I think a lot of people did. And I think there's a few factors that play into that. One, I think it was because I was between the time the third season came out and the fourth season came out. I was in college during that time when there was no Stranger Things coming out. And in college, I think my taste kind of changed. I don't really, well, I know, you know what? I take that back. I wouldn't say it was because my taste changed. Because I still really liked the fourth season. Now that I did binge watch it, so I can't say that. But I honestly kind of I didn't lose interest. I forgot about the show. I really did. I forgot about it. I didn't watch it at all. There's still people talking about it, but I really didn't watch it, rewatch it or anything. It was what, 3 years, almost 3 years. I don't remember exactly the time frame, but I think it was almost 3 years of time that I really didn't care about it, and I wasn't really watching it at all. And then the fourth season hits, and I'm like, I don't remember anything of the show. I really don't remember anything. And I really don't feel like rewatching the first 3 seasons just to watch this fourth season. I know there was a lot of people that rewatched the first 3 seasons before season 4 came out. I just didn't have time with it for it, and also time got away from me. It released, and I was like, oh, it's out already. Dang. I haven't rewatched the series yet. Dang it. And I didn't really care to. I was like, but luckily Netflix did a whole recap, and that was enough for me to kind of remember all the things that happened. But, it's really unfortunate because they wanted to release it a while ago, but COVID hit. We all hated that. And it's one of those things you can't really do anything about it. You're just like, you have to be careful. But let me tell you, season 4 was so good. And I think the people that created the show definitely knew what they were doing, because they knew their audience so well. They were catering to people like me, my age, in my opinion. Because when the show first came out, I think they were catering towards a teenage audience, and it was not as scary. It was more family friendly. It was less horror, more kids on bikes. You know what I mean? That kind of feel to it. And season 4, it was so much darker. It was so much scarier, so much more eerie, so much more mature. And I think they did that on purpose. I think they knew what they were doing. They knew the gap of time. They knew the audience they wanted from season 1, and they wanted this show to carry out with them as they grew up, as they got older, as they went to college, just like me. I think that was their whole intention. I mean, obviously, a whole lot of people watch the show. But honestly, that wouldn't surprise me if it was their intention to cater to that audience and keep upping the ante of scariness as it went on. But season 4 It was the darkest, and honestly, it was my favorite season. It really is getting into the meat, the heart of what the true conflict of the show is. And I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about season 5. Hopefully it won't. I don't think it's going to take as long for season 5 to come out as it did for season 4. But let me know who your favorite character was in the chat. Let me know who your favorite character of Stranger Things was in the chat. Personally, my favorite character was Eddie. Absolute loved Eddie. Eddie is just one of those characters. I don't know, like, you don't know how to feel about him at the beginning, kind of like Steve. But as he just continues on with the show, you can't help but feel bad for the guy. You know, he's being blamed. I'm not gonna spoil too much, but he's definitely my favorite character. All right. Do we have any people watching? We don't have any people watching. You know what? That's fine. People that missed out live, you know what they can do? They can rewatch it if they want to. I personally don't think this is a bad first live stream. I really don't. I really don't think this is a bad first live stream. If you think I'm boring, please let me know. I will better prepare myself, and honestly, that's how you do these things. How you do these things is, one, you've got to start somewhere. You've just got to start. A lot of the times, the reason why I didn't do this for so long is because I thought to myself, well, why should I even do it if I'm not going to have a lot of views, if I'm not going to have a lot of subscribers, if I'm not going to have this and this and the excuses. If you want to grow, if you want to get big on YouTube, if you want to do anything like this, you just got to start. You just got to do it. You just have to, press the live button, press the go. You got to hit record and just see where it goes. And you know what you do? You don't wait until you're really, really good for you to start something. No, you start it. No matter what. And you learn as you go. You get better as you go. And I fully believe that that's what this channel is going to do. It's going to get better as it goes. Because I will get input, hopefully, from people. And I will better it. I'll better myself. I will better the production. I will better everything. And I think in the end, we'll get to, hopefully, something big. And I'm not trying to reach for the stars, really. This is just something fun for me. But who knows what can happen. But honestly, if you think I'm boring, if you think I'm being, if you think, just whatever you think, don't be too mean about it, but just give your honest opinion. Tell me. I could take some criticism, I could take some encouragement, I could take whatever, just, again, don't be so mean about it, you know what I mean? But, okay, so, talked about Stranger Things. I want to talk about the films I saw this summer. And I'm going to start towards the beginning. Now, Memorial Day, around that time. I hate that I'm starting with my absolute favorite movie. So, my absolute favorite movie that I saw this summer that came out has to be Top Gun Maverick. Oh my goodness! Top Gun Maverick is the absolute best movie to come out this summer. Honestly, this year so far. I think this whole year so far, Top Gun Maverick has been the best movie to come out in theaters this year ever. Ever. It was, I thought it was even better than the original. Top Gun Maverick, the way they really filmed on those F-18s, the way they got those dogfights, and even the story, it was really about true conflict, good and evil, and the characters, they struggled, they went through stuff, you felt that. You felt that all through the movie. It was such a good film. Such a genuine film. It really reminds me of just the American film industry. It just reminds me of the film industry, how pure, how good it was. It was just so good. Such a good film. And I really hope it wins an Oscar for something. You know, Best Picture, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what it ends up being. But I bet you it's going to win an Oscar for something. It's got to. I mean, come on. But yeah, that was really, really good. I mean, just the scenes with them flying around. I hate because I don't want to go too much into detail for people that haven't seen it yet. But you know, let's just move on. And I'm gonna the next time I do this, I'm actually going to, because I didn't really have much time to prepare for this live stream. I'll just be completely honest with you. But the next time I do this, I'm going to get my thoughts in order before I even start it, so I know what points to hit and stuff. But I had somewhat of a general idea, and I think that's okay for my first one. But Lightyear, I didn't see it. I still haven't seen it. Minions, I haven't seen, although I really want to. I feel like I'm falling behind on my movie watching. But I've watched the big ones. Doctor Strange and the Multitude of Madness, that came out before Top Gun. But that movie, my first thoughts on that movie was that was amazing. My afterthoughts of that movie now, my thoughts now is it's really not that great. It's not that great of a movie. And story-wise, MCU-wise, the way it ties into everything, it was still pretty good. It wasn't as bad as Black Widow, and it wasn't as bad as The Eternals. Both of those movies were very bad, honestly. But the way they made Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is the reason why I loved that movie in the first place. The way they made it was so amazing, like just so amazing. The scenes, like the scene where she dream walks for the first time, Wanda does, and it's like that horror thriller. I'm like, oh, that was really good. I love director Sam Raimi. I love what he does. I love the Spider-Man trilogy, but you know, just the way they made that movie, man. But again, the story, it just wasn't there for me. The story wasn't there for me. The cinematography, amazing. But the story just wasn't there for me. And that's, I gotta think of both of those things, you know. The story just wasn't, it could have been so much better. But that's my thought. That's my thought. I originally gave it a 7 out of 10. Oh, Top Gun Maverick, 10 out of 10. Absolutely. I originally gave this one 7 out of 10, but I think I'm going to drop it to... I'll just drop it 1 point. I'll drop it to a 6 out of 10. It is still a great Marvel movie. I think very highly of them. Speaking of another Marvel movie that came out recently, this is a very recent movie to come out. It hasn't even been out for a week yet, so I won't say any spoilers. I actually have friends right now that are watching it as we speak at the theater. They're probably just getting done with it. But the Thor movies are just the best, okay? I don't care what anybody else says. The Thor movies, especially the two newest ones, they're so good. Taika Waititi knows what he's doing. He's such a great director. I look up to that man so much. He's probably one of my favorite new directors right now. I'm really hoping that he ends up doing the Star Wars project that he's rumored to be doing. I'm like super excited about that. if he ends up doing it. I really hope he does. But I am all here for Taika Waititi. I mean, like, come on. Thor Ragnarok was such a good movie. And personally, I don't think this one is as good as Ragnarok, because Ragnarok is up there as one of my favorite MCU films of all time. But this one was just underneath it. Love and Thunder was just underneath it. I mean, it was... I just love the acting. I love the humor. I love the visual effects. I love Taika Waititi, his directing style, the way he incorporates the soundtracks. I mean, him and James Gunn have that in common with the music and how they incorporate it. And the visual effects of both these films, the style of it, you can definitely tell a difference between these two Thor movies and the first two Thor movies. There's such a difference. And, you know, man, I loved that movie so much. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Thor Ragnarok 10 out of 10, absolutely. This one I'd give a 9 out of 10. There was a few things that I'm like kind of iffy about with it, but the Chuk. Is this Chuka? What's up, Chuka? Who do you think is going to be the next big villain in the MCU? Well, I can't spoil anything about Thor Love and Thunder. Gore was a great villain. Christian Bale did a great job playing that villain. Because honestly, it's kind of weird seeing Christian Bale, in it. I mean, he talk about an actor that has such a great resume, honestly. Like, you look at his IMDb, he's played so many different characters, like so different from each other. And Gore, I couldn't have picked anybody better than Christian Bale, honestly, to play this villain. Because he's one of those villains where you actually understand why he's doing what he's doing. You feel for him. You feel emotional for him. And I love villains that you feel emotional for. I mean, even Thanos, there was in Endgame, you kind of did feel a little bit for him. Not a whole lot, but you did a little bit, At least I did. But Gore is definitely a great villain, and I really can't say anything more about him until later, until more people have seen it, or I might make a spoiler-free, or not spoiler-free, a spoiler video. I don't know, but I can't really say a whole lot. The next biggest villain in the MCU, well, I think, for what we've seen from Loki, Kane the Conqueror, I think, is going to be a very big villain in the MCU. I think that's going to be one of the next biggest villains in the MCU, because Loki Season 2 is coming out. I don't know when, but I think they already have started filming for it. Or if you remember how it ended with Kang the Conqueror. But honestly, I think he's going to be a very big villain. I think the Celestials are also going to come back in some way, shape, or form. They're going to be very big villains. We have a lot of potential. We have Secret Wars coming. Secret Wars is going to be a huge thing. I mean, there's so many things coming for the MCU that people are already starting to see in this Phase 4 that I'm really excited about, honestly. But yeah, Kang the Conqueror, I think, is going to be the next one we see a lot of. He's already rumored he's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Quantumanium movie, which I don't remember when that comes out. I think it's coming up relatively soon. I mean, relatively soon can mean anything. But, Chuka, I really appreciate you asking that question. Ooh, that's another good question, Chuka. Who would you cast for Venom in the MCU? To be honest with you, Tom Hardy. I mean, he kind of has to, right? Tom Hardy? He's got to play he's got to play Venom. I mean, if you've seen No Way Home, you already know that he was briefly, Tom Hardy's Venom was briefly in the MCU universe. I don't think that was just a Easter egg or just a temporary thing or just a. I think they're teasing us with something. I think he's actually going to be eventually in the MCU. I really, really hope, because Tom Hardy plays such a great Venom. But thank you, Chuka, for watching. I'm really hoping you're enjoying the stream. If you haven't, hit that like button and subscribe and all of that jazz. But seriously, hit that like button. And I wish Tom Hardy had more screen time in No Way Home. You know, I agree. I wish they did something with him. But like I said, I think they're going to do something with him in the future. And I would love to see more of Tom Hardy's Venom. Venom 2 wasn't as good as Venom 1. It was very short. But still, it was such a good movie because of Tom Hardy and because of, what is his name? Woody Harrelson. Their characters were played really, really well. But other movies I've seen, those are the movies I've seen in theaters recently. But other movies that I've seen at home this week, what I've been watching, I forgot, I left one out. The Bob's Burgers movie. So, I don't know, I'll let you in on this a little bit about myself. I am a huge Bob's Burgers fan. It's one of those shows that I just watch like every morning while I'm eating breakfast, you know, sometimes in the afternoon. I just watch Bob's Burgers so much, repeatedly. It's my absolute favorite, like, cartoon or favorite animated show. Rick and Morty is also up there. I watch a lot of Rick and Morty. But the Bob's Burgers movie was actually really good. I really enjoyed the music. I really enjoyed everything that movie had. It was just basically a very long episode of Bob's Burgers. But seriously, I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about it, but I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. And by the time I got out of that movie, I wanted to just go home and watch more Bob's Burgers, and so I did. And actually, my ringtone on my phone is the Bob's Burgers theme song. So if you ever are near me and hear my phone go off, then you know that's what it is. But yeah, I watch Bob's Burgers at home a lot. I watch Rick and Morty. The show that I've been watching since I was in middle school is, there's a few of them. One is Doctor Who. I'm a big Doctor Who fan, as you can tell by the Sonic Screwdriver. And honestly, if you ask me where I got the inspiration and where I got, you know, the idea of wearing bow ties all the time, you know, I could show you. The amount of bow ties I have in my drawer is insane. Matt Smith was the Doctor when I started watching the show, and I fell in love with his Doctor. And he always wore bow ties, and I was like, I want to be like him. So that explains the bow ties, and honestly, that explains the haircut I have. It's somewhat similar to his haircut. I've had this hairstyle probably since I've been in high school, but well, give or take. My hairstyle has changed a lot from being really long to short to long to short, back and forth. Other things that I watch are, well, Doctor Who. I watch a lot of movies, my favorite being Wes Anderson films. So recently I watched a few Wes Anderson movies. I watched Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is probably, if you haven't seen it, you gotta go watch that movie. That's like one of the best Wes Anderson films. Wes Anderson movies are just my favorite. Like, they're so good. Like, his style, it's just an iconic. He has a specific style that whenever you see his movies, you're like, oh, that's Wes Anderson. Like, you already know. If a movie comes out, you don't know who directed it, but it has that style, you're like, that's probably Wes Anderson. Probably right. Another one I watched by him recently, The Grand Budapest Hotel. It's one of his most popular movies, I would say. It has a great I don't remember the name of the actor who plays the guy, but he also plays in The Kingsman. I also watched that recently, The Kingsman, on HBO Max. That was my favorite. That prequel, I think, was better than either of the Kingsman movies, Kingsman 1 or 2. The Kingsman was, I think, the best one they've come out with. It was very good. Very, very good. Chuka, do you have any more questions for me? How you doing, man? We need to play Minecraft again sometime. This is a friend of mine from my hometown. We play Minecraft a lot. Oh, I'll tell you what I just watched last night. Last night, I was just scrolling on HBO Max. I honestly, to be honest with you, I'm not sponsored in any way by HBO Max, but I will say a lot of highly things about that streaming service. Like, I think it's the best streaming service that's out there, in my opinion. Better than Netflix, better than Disney Plus, better than anything. I have everything, and I'm not gonna knock Disney Plus or Netflix, but HBO Max has the best movies ever. Like, they're so good. They're so good. And the one I watched last night was called Last Night in Soho. And talk about a movie. A double genred movie. It's part like drama, part, you know, and it's also a thriller, like a horror. And I'll explain it a little bit. If you haven't seen this movie, you gotta go see it. It is disturbing. It'll kind of creep you out, but it'll also make you feel good, because the first half of the movie is so colorful, so beautiful, so charming. You know, the first time she goes back in time to Soho, it's just it's her dream, and the movie basically goes from being a dream to being a nightmare real quick, like that. Like halfway through the movie, it's like boom, you're in a nightmare. This is not at all what you thought it was gonna be. She's freaking out. But The Last Night in Soho had a great soundtrack. And the reason why I loved that movie so much is the actors in it. The cast of that movie, so good. I remember I told you about Matt Smith before and how he influenced my style as the Doctor. Matt Smith is in this movie. So is Anya Taylor-Joy, who she's been one of my favorite actresses recently with The Queen's Gambit and in Peaky Blinders as well. By the way, I also watch Peaky Blinders a lot. And it also has another actress, I can't remember her name right now, but the person who plays the main character, who plays Ellie, is so good. Like, she did such a great job. She's a newer actress. She's about my age. She's 21, and she's fairly cute. But I first saw her in Jojo Rabbit, which Jojo Rabbit is another movie. Taika Waititi. Fantastic story about this boy who fantasizes about being a Nazi soldier, but then throughout the movie realizes what that means, and it's a great movie. It starts out so weird, but then it ends, and you just feel so wholesome and so heart-warmed. Anyways, Last Night in Soho, great cast of characters, great movie, great story. It literally takes you from 0 to 100 real quick as far as thriller, because the way it shifts into from a dream into a nightmare is just crazy. The way they incorporate everything, the way that everything comes around full circle at the end. Definitely recommend that movie. They should have released the Black Widow film early than later with a better villain. You know, I agree. I agree that they should have released it earlier. I think they should have released it like after Civil War. I think that would have been like the perfect time to have a Black Widow movie. With a better villain, yes, I still would have kept the Taskmaster, but I would have changed the Taskmaster. I didn't really like that. I don't know. I just didn't really like that it was his daughter. I would have gone more with just I don't know. I agree with you, Chuka. I think they should have released it earlier. I would have stuck with the villain though, to be honest with you, because I think if they released it earlier, I think that villain would have been more in context. It wouldn't have happened after Thanos, and Thanos was such a big villain that it was kind of But I think they should have released that movie earlier. I definitely agree with you on that. Captain Rex miniseries should be nice. I don't know, animated or live action. I don't know. That might be a good idea. You might be onto something there. All right. Well, it is almost time for the stream to end. I think it's been a great first stream. Thank you for everyone who watched. Thank you for watching. And if you hadn't watched it live, and if you're watching this later, again, thank you. Please leave a comment on what you think of the show or what you think of the live stream. Talk to me about who your favorite character in Stranger Things is, what movies you recently watched, what do you think about all the ones that have come out recently. Don't spoil anything though. And let me know what topics, please comment topics that you want me to touch on in these Tuesday night talks. Comment things you want me to talk about, what any questions you might have. I will definitely read them. I will touch on them. This Friday, I'll be on the road. You'll get to find out what I do for work. You'll get to see a little bit about that. And I will have guests this Friday. They'll be from my work, and we'll be playing some games, doing some fun stuff there. But I really look forward to it. The first episode of the Nifty Nick Show. Well, folks, thank you so much. Please subscribe if you're not, and like the video if you haven't. Keep tuning in every Tuesday and Friday night. I look forward to seeing you guys Friday night. This has been Tuesday Talk Time. I'm messing up my own title. This has been Tuesday Talk Time with Nifty Nick. And I'm Nick, but you can call me Nifty. I really hope you guys enjoy this new channel. I know I do. I'm really going to enjoy it. But yeah, I really appreciate all of you guys. And hope you have a great night. All right. See ya.